not muted now. Ha. Oh, look. Like, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half ago, Virtual Riot was streaming AI stuff, and you know what? I wanted to get in on that. So now I am too. I guess I don't need to see that here or here. Because I can see this here. What's up, Pixie? Yeah. Virtual Riot inspired me to exist. And now I exist. Also, this is happening. Okay, so it's happening, it's on, the video's happening, so we might as well talk about it. If you're not super duper familiar with AI stuff, you might have missed. I mean, I honestly am into AI stuff, and I missed like a few months ago. Stable audio was a thing. And now on the website, there's a website for stable audio too, which is actually way better than the stuff that we're going to do here, but it's on the online version. As far as I know, there's no like offline model. This, what we're looking at here, is an offline model. So this little example here, I have this piece of audio that I made, which was the doofiest possible like synth string sound. And then this process happened to it, and now it's turned into this. Which is like a decent descriptor of about how good this system is so far, is an ability to do basically that, which is impressive, but a little bit out of control. But that's okay, because it happens fast. Because stable diffusion for audio is a lot faster than stable diffusion for images, which makes sense. It's not exactly different information, it's all patterns, right? But audio is one whole less. Oh, you couldn't hear that. That's a significant issue. Let me make sure I can, I'm pretty sure I know what's up with that. One more time. I forgot that this wasn't actually in FL. And so anyway, that's that stupid synth sound. That's just like some saw wave and some unison, and then it gets put through here. It was these settings, I believe, that made this, and then this. So you hear a little bit of realism in there. You hear a little bit of like, oh, it's the notes, but it's the thing, but the thing, and that's in my mind what this is going to be good for. If we can somewhat figure out, power. Right. So it is what stable diffusion is. The same way that it works for visual stuff, which means that the same sort of problems show up in visual stuff. For example, the whole joke about hands in the visual stuff is actually a high frequency data pattern recognition problem, which is because there's just a lot of information you can have in hands, very high bit depth, which means it's just, it took a while to get trained on it. And high frequency like audio reality is just a little bit like that too. So that means we get some of the same sort of BS. But so we got positive prompt, negative prompt. If you're familiar with how the actual whole stable diffusion business works, is that you do this, and when you use these words, we're using words here, and the words were just massively applied to an application of a data set that's being sampled for information. That information being a bunch of patterns that, when applied and decoded properly, is a thing we're looking for. And what we have on top of the prompting, which is essentially addressing that, like the looking for the sampling, there's also the name and the name of the scheduler and the sampler, which are the two things that determine how it's going to like poke at the data set. And then there's denoising. And let's see, if I set this to 100, 1, it will basically completely ignore what I have going on in the loaded audio. It will just make a new whole thing. In fact, let's see what that does. Boop. This is doing this. You can get this whole system, by the way, from here. This is where this is. This is what this is. This is a whole specific thing that like I recommend using if you're going to do this. Or just use the online thing. If you find paying for using the online thing, might as well just do that. But I prefer to have local control. Sweet. That was like the human music equivalent expression of violins, where it's like, yep, it played the note, and then it played the next string. Thanks. So that's what 100% generation is on this particular set. And it would be different if I chose different, like the different models. There are a lot of models, and they have a lot of purposes. Not as many samplers, but there aren't as many purposes there. And then, of course, there's the seeding concept, which like it is just a random addressing for it to do it, but I can also tell it to not do that, and it'll be a little more samey with minor variations still basically intact. But for the most part, I like the random, so it stays that way. Oh, someone mentioned A1111. Yeah, so another issue about Comfy is it only works on NVIDIA GPUs. That's a thing. So I actually have no idea what like how good automatic 1111 functions for this, which is sort of, you know, fine. But I mean, the idea that this particular system, the Comfy UI, even started letting you use audio is an incredibly recent development. Like months, mind you. I guess not that recent. I'm just slow. Anyway, hello Hex. Hold on, my Windows. I have the chat. It's up here. Woo. Oh, speaking of presets, I have been messing with Kepler XO. That's somewhat unrelated to what's happening here, but I actually have been messing around and making a lot of presets for XO because it's super fun. Here's a whole bunch of stuff. Probably, you know, we'll probably end up using it because here's how I've been using the AI stuff. So like I got these drums right here. I have actually already done a lot of these, so I could just show you some examples. So this is just a kit I made. This is just straight up some drums. Neat. And the drums, what I did, I took that sample and I put it into here. Do this. I loaded it up in there. And I tried all the sources to various whatevers. And it takes a little bit longer because it's okay, that example was like 6 seconds long, whatever. This one's 24-ish seconds. Here it is. I have a whole folder now, AI. So here's the drums. And then I also high passed it and low passed it. Yep, inspired by Virtual Riot Stream. I absolutely inspired by Virtual Riot Stream. I saw that on and I was like, well, you know what? Because I've been messing with this stuff. So, like, for example, this kit got me all of these. So you can a little bit see it is related to the original input, but it does alter it. And it matters when you tell it things like BPM and key. Because if you tell what BPM a thing is, it will just rearrange a whole thing. It'll make what's going on, and it'll just move it. And this is a somewhat of a vision of that happening. It's like from this, turn into that. That's what this can do. And that's I'm the biggest fan of that nonsense. Like, you hear that guy? Like, oh man, young me would have died for the ability to just have this like infinite sample pack generation capability. Like, stable audio is about making like finished songs. Sort of the way that like stable diffusion isn't really about making Photoshop layers, but holy crap, it can. You just can if you like make it. Yeah, and then some weird ones, right? So here's an example of a not exactly. Same original drum loop was made that guy too. What will I name the song? Good lord. Have I used Udio Suno much? I nope, no idea. I want to say thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Oh, you're releasing a Monster Cat inspired song. Hell yeah, do it. Do it up. Yeah. Oh. We'll get to the melodic stuff in a second. So in this example, I had this drum kit. Which is just the same thing, but I put a high pass on it because I was trying to figure out what exactly is going to enable the diffusion vision to see anything that's happening, and not that I can control where a thing is going to go without having to go as hard as I ended up doing on something I'll show you later. But this actually made it, I think, a little bit better. So here's an example of another output. So, you know, when you see it make lower frequency content, it had to basically create it. It had to create the bass part of this drum loop, and it did. Oh yeah, and it does this a lot. Where like this is like at 174, it's like 8 bars, whatever. Oh, it made it a whole 16 bars. So we see it's giving me arrangement. I have made it long enough that it's doing stem math. It's doing like, okay, some like for most times this happens in this kind of song. Like it just stops and waits. Like, isn't that ridiculous? And then same thing with this. I had the low end on this one, so I mean I had to create the high end. Indeed, what happens if you put melody in it. So I made a lead, right? And I made this, and before I did this too, but before I did that, oops, I decided I wanted to put in the entire melodic stack, everything in the track that wasn't drums. I wanted to see what would happen if I could just put in the whole melodic content and just tell it to do things. And that's what that sounds like. And then I got a lot of this. Like, that by itself is already worth it. I don't care that it totally missed the mark on what I told it to do. What it did was just dope. Like, I'm that into it. And like, look how many of these. Like, especially in these little moments where somehow it knows to do fills. That's what kills me. Like it here, it knows where fills go. And it's in a lot of these examples, a lot of the most of it kind of sucks. And then right there, it does something great. And I'm just like, oh crap, every time. Like that whole section right there would be a sick insert to be just a layer on something. Like, insert. Oh, here's another one. This one actually, I feel like so basically what I did was I started low. I did low noise generation, so it would stick closer to the original. I think actually it's just original. And then I went higher to see what would happen. That percussion was completely generated. There was no percussion in there. It made that. And I had to tell it not to. I had to tell it to stop. Yeah, noisy AI, no kidding. Like even these, especially these like weirdly off things are like better to me than like actually nailing the real thing. Appreciate y'all telling me you're reaching out. I know I haven't been around like at all forever, and like it's been a time, hasn't it? It's been time, but I have to come back. I have to. So, and hey, why not this stuff, right? Goddamn. Give VR a break, honestly. Setting this stuff up is obnoxious, and like also okay. I'll let me show off these. So these two. So all of this so far was created using Stable Audio Open, which was Stable Audio 1 that they just let out go because now they have Stable Audio 2. Stable Audio 2 made these, and this title is the prompt. That's what I put in to make these sounds. All right. Actually, you know what? Screw trying to listen to the there. I'm just gonna put it in here. Because look, do you see this? It generated 3 minutes at a time. That A, which I can't do locally. Oh yeah, I think I actually extracted this from the thing I made. Is this it? Nope. But yeah, this is another example of a thing it generated. So let me show off something I was attempting to do earlier. So I eventually figured out that the thing isn't all that great at riffs. So you see here, I tried some metal stuff. That's me just playing guitar. And what I wanted to see what I could do is if I could put a guitar riff in there and have it give me drums. And it actually got pretty close to being all right if I could finagle with it. But I had to really finagle with these. What, 140? I mean, I've been messing with this since like April of like a year ago, like all stable diffusion at all. And stable audio has been a thing since like June. I'm putting that there because it sounds better with the drums. So first off is this. Oh, it's shorter than that by a lot. Oh, I must have killed it there. Okay, there's guitar in there. That's not my guitar. There's drums in there. It's not the riff. But all of that was generated. This is fake. Yeah, you see it match? It actually figured it, like this something, that's something else. Like once I noticed, because eventually this is distorted guitar, right? And I noticed that it really only ever started to do it once it figured out that there was spacing involved. And that's when I figured out, oh, I should be giving it clean guitar so that it actually understands dynamics. It actually makes sense, right? Isn't that ridiculous? But when it has dynamics, it actually does a pretty good job. Like, it knew I wanted to be Pantera for a second, and it did it. Like, holy shit. Fuck me, right? All right, what else? A couple of these are all right. Oh yeah, I didn't even bother to quantize my playing either. That's something else I wanted to see. I could see if I can make it do, is actually do it to a wrong thing. And it kind of doesn't. But it makes some good sounds. Like, damn, I also, like, if I was just making samples to make stuff, this already wins. Like, it's a little bit weird that it made that out of a guitar sample, but it did. Yeah. All right, so this is what I've got. That's what I've gotten done so far. One of the bigger things I tried doing is generating a direct wave instrument using AI. And it was a little bit of a bummer because, unfortunately, the thing that's supposed to make this work doesn't work. Direct wave was supposed to be able to interpret all of these things as information to map the sounds, and it just doesn't. But, yeah, these are all generated with a Cup UI. Where did I get the model? That's a fantastic question that I forgot to, like, answer ahead of time. So this is where I get Comfy UI. You're going to have to get the model from Hugging Face, which is a wonderful name for a website, isn't it? That's what it's called, Hugging Face. Stable audio, open. Yeah. And then, oh, you know something? Actually, so you might be able to, if you have Comfy UI, you might be able to just do it through the manager. I didn't try to do that. Let me see if it lets me. What does it think it's based in? Because it doesn't call it audio, but it could call it this. So because then you got to get these. You actually need this, what we're looking at right here. I'd also recommend getting this, which is the Comfy UI manager. You just Google that and get that. Get really good at using GitHub. Oh my God. I have not been more annoyed by a system in my life than trying to use GitHub. It is so annoying. Ugh. Direct wave can have audio dragged in manually now. Oh, you know something? You would make a wonderful point. Let me look that right now, because I actually didn't try that. I tried to just do the import through the system, but what happens if I just drop this in there? Will it do it? I know it'll load it. I just don't know if it'll load it right. And I need it to load right, because this is 720 samples, and I am not doing this manually. That's a big NO. Maybe if I do it by the folder, it should know it's a directory. It should know a lot of things, but like, okay, that was a mistake. It's fine. It's just 720 samples. So this folder is a folder of me setting up a prompt in Comfy UI to generate note in a direct way, multi-sample note, like, you know, individual note sound. Because I was saying about riffs, as I was showing off by the whole guitar thing, it's not the best at recognizing flow. At least this model isn't. Stable 2 is probably better at it. But because it's not, that means that you're much better off doing things either note by note or just like full half and half, like with the string example. So that's why this was me doing per note individual generation. And it wasn't gonna work even if it worked, just so you know. Like, the samples weren't right, but like, I was real excited about this being able to do that, because I could just change it, because it happens so fast. Like, these samples, and this is on this system. This is a GTX 1660 Super doing this processing, and it is not in any way like a modern gen card. And like, the fact that like this takes a like perceivable time to do any of these prompts is sort of, you know, a testament to that. Let's do some things though. Let's do some new gen. In fact, let's do some new gen and then do some resampling, because you can do that too. What is it that this AI is actually? Yeah, okay, let's talk about, that's actually a good idea. Let's talk about what it is that this thing is even looking at, insofar as what an image is. And I think I'm going to have to use visual aids for this. Where the hell is paint? Okay. So to understand this, we're first going to have to understand how regular-ass stable diffusion works. And this whole bit is about this idea of noise. And okay, also like a tensor relationship. So let's say we have these 6 pixels. These 6 pixels have a relationship to each other, and it's not even just that, like, it's not just their position, it's also things like their color and the alphas, all that stuff, all the various values. And then there's like a math that says this plus this times all of that there, and that's one piece of the math. And then there's math that's there, and it just does all of this. This is just all day long. This is what a tensor file is, latent whatever image is. So what this does is that you give it a bunch of things, and you give it like an image of like an eyeball, and it will come in here in these pixels, and it'll say this math on this is an eyeball. And what's fun about doing this much math is that it's scalable. So that means you're not just limited to being like, okay, there's this many pixels, so that means the eyeball is that many pixels. It says that there's an eyeball with this percentage of relationship per area. And so you can tell it to be a different size, different location, different whatever. And then the whatever is also this. It's also a bunch of information and data that's being pop into it. And that's how you get the really, really good stuff that we've been doing. That kind of needed all this processing power to even do this in the first place. Because really, you could have done this on paper. We have been doing this on paper. But now we can do it on paper really fucking fast. So a regular image is this for pixel based, but the stable diffusion for audio is still this, and it ostensibly is pixel based. It's just that the pixels are all you can basically think of them as being in a line, and this line is 44,000 pixels per second. So like if I'm doing, how long is it? 6 seconds. That means that there's just the image that it's looking at is a flat line, black and white, from black being full, like black, white. And you're looking above it. So you see like nothing real bright, real bright. And then the tensor data is about the relationship between the rhythm of that thing. So like an oscillation, for example, will show up as a certain relative in a position of how much data it is per pixel. And yeah, like a regular PCM audio file is just a list of numbers. It's just one long line list of numbers. And all that does is you could just take that number and paste into a thing and tell it that 44,000, or how you sample it, right? 44,000 times a second, and then there's your image. And that sounds like a lot. That actually sounds like, well, isn't that just as many pixels as a freaking picture? And like, no, it's actually not. We're still very far away from because how far do you got to go to get a megapixel? is right, and like 1080p is 3 megapixels, and like 3 minutes of a song is kind of a lot, but like 6 seconds, 30 seconds, it's almost nothing. So it's still the same element. It's just all on X, no X and Y, and so no extra dimension of XY calculation, which is why it's a lot faster. So when it sees things like a kick, right? Like bam, a kick happens. It does the information of like, okay, so this area, that area, but it also does like from here to there, this whole freaking thing. So it knows like how long the element of what happens in a kick is supposed to happen relative to like what is a kick. So that's how it figures that out. That's what that all is. But what I'm trying to do is trying to say like, okay, stuff that ain't a kick is a kick. Turn it into a kick. And what it does is that like forever, however many steps you set, in this case I set 50 steps, it like adds a little bit of noise and takes away a little bit of noise, and eventually pointillisms itself around into reconfiguring itself into being a kick as best as it can. That's how that biz works. Yeah, right. So like I also, someone in the comments just mentioned, I also thought that all this was going to be was just FFT spectral stuff. That like you just did regular image processing and then just reintegrated it into audio, because we've been used to having audio synthesized into an image just so we can see it forever. So why aren't we just doing that? And as it turns out, that's just so we can see it. We're only ever doing that so we can see it, see how we heard it. But we don't. Machine learning doesn't need any of that information, so it doesn't. Isn't that fun? It's a lot of fun. It is a bit. It is a bit how like certain other processes, like this process seems insane, but it's mostly the thing that's like groundbreaking is that the hardware can run it. Like there's machines capable of doing this like this. This is all based on like systems that have been used to do things like describe how education systems work for human beings. Expert systems. That's where the word expert comes from. Yeah, so it's all very, I'm pumped about it. It's a lot of fun. So let's do some fresh gen, which I can do by just running this into this and not dealing with it, but we also have a empty audio. Where the hell are you? Nope. It's in latent. So they got an encode audio, which we no longer need, and a load audio, which we no longer need. All right, so what should we gen up? Let's see. Let's give me some suggestions in chat while I'm thinking of something else. Let's see. Let's do race car engine tuned to F sharp minor what? Honk. I'm not even gonna give it a verb. I'm just gonna tell it. So let's talk about why I have this in here. In regular image negative prompting, you'll see some pretty regular things. You'll say, well, actually now not anymore, because now we have Stable Diffusion 3 is actually really good at text. So that means you want text sometimes. But before you'd be like, I don't want text, I don't want watermarks, I don't want like nudity, I don't want kids, I don't want dogs, like whatever you don't want in there. Like you just say you don't want it. So what I'm in here being like, I don't want aliasing, I don't want that weird organ, like pipe organ carnival sound that shows up when you do vocoding processing wrong. And I also don't want white noise, because you know I don't want white noise. Let's see what it does. Which one? Okay, so let's talk about these. So since I'm not doing, I was doing already a sound into a sound, and that's what this particular sampler is good for. These guys, the adaptive, nope. You know what? Don't use these two. That dude, and that dude are fun. Well, these two are kind of the same thing. This just means plus. But anyway, because we're doing regular new gen, we're just going to do regular. That's basically what these two settings mean. Hit the go button. Let's see how fast it does it. Did it just do it? Oh shit, it's 47 seconds long. Oh damn, I didn't need to do that. Boop. 47 seconds is the maximum amount of time that this particular model can generate at once. And it's like that's the equivalent of doing slightly higher resolution gen than I need to exactly. Like high enough res that it takes a second for it to know. Like, come on. Did I forget? You done? Oh man. It's not done. All right, we gotta give it a second while it's doing. Okay. Right on then. Yeah, so you're getting it. What? Breaking waves on the shore, breaking in the melodies. Like, exactly. Like, that's what we're talking about. Like, impossible shit that we nonetheless are capable of describing with words. You know, I think I might just kill this and load up a new one. Good luck if you haven't already learned how to do GitHub and installing. Like, every once in a while, I had to like do it again because of like errors and stuff, and I hate it every time. Hopefully it'll load it. Hi, Tovin. I've not actually tried to say your name out loud before. I don't think. I might have. Did you do one of those K tutorial suggestions billions of years ago? All right, so we're back. All right, 10 seconds now. This should be okay. It should break anything. Let's try it out. I'm gonna try it out. I'm 700 years old. Have I tried doing this yet? Okay. Well, it's repeating itself in the tuning of F minor. Nice. Let's do Racing by Hard Doppler. It'll be really funny if it knows what I'm talking about. So with the image stuff, it's been around long enough that like embeddings are things, prompting guidances are things, but for the audio stuff, like we have the universal problem of there was never a good way to describe sounds. Did it do it? Did I hit the go button? Holy shit. Oh, because I have randomize on. Okay. Different sampler. All right, I think I might have done the logic wrong. I have. Where are you connected? Oh, it's decoding nothing. I'm an idiot. Okay, dude. Ah. The model was getting constipated. That's basically what was happening. Like, you have, oh my God, you want to talk about more GPU? Like, I have no idea what it's like to have more VRAM, right? Like, VRAM is one thing, but like when I look at tutorials of people doing this stuff, it's like they don't know that it takes time to do things because like they click a button and it's over. It actually kind of did it. There was like a tune in there. Did you hear it? Damn. Oh, you think this looks confusing? Oosh. Wait till oh man. Yeah, no, it does look confusing. I just started using those like straight line buttons on the visions, and honestly, I think I might go back to where'd it go? This biz. Spine. That. A lot more picturesque. Really, they should be over here. Like this is over here. Like if we want to be a little bit less weird looking. All right, so we have the model, which is just stable audio. We don't really got to worry about much because it just doesn't. There's just the one for now. They did release the thing that you could use to train your own model, so that's a thing you can do. I just don't know how. I haven't tried that yet. For some reason, with this particular generation of stuff, you have to care about loading your own clip, which is clip. And with a lot of the visual models have already taken care of this and have it built in, but the audio does not. So that means you got to do this thing, and then you need to have this one, the T5 base. That's not the Google guy. And like, I don't know what to tell you other than to go get it. Like, you should be able to Google what you're looking at right there, and like it'll work because there's basically nothing else that's for these things. What do I want to try and mess with here? Okay, what was the wave thing? Crashing waves. Breaking into chimes. in the key of let's do a different note, right? Let's do E minor. Oh, so different, so new and strange. Let's actually not have any of that because that might get in the way of the noise gen. Yeah, so with the normal empty latent, you don't need to do any kind of encoding or decoding. But if you do regular load audio, like we were doing earlier, then you got to have an extra step of going into latent and then doing encode for audio. There's regular encode for imaging, and then there's encode for audio, and then it has to care about this VAE business, which is just like I don't remember. It stands for something cool, but it basically means did it do the thing right? That's the did it do the thing right stack. You know, if I were to look at the spectrum for that, I'm willing to bet it's harmonically E minor. But let's try. Okay, so these two guys, right? Hin and hin, like when you want the thing to do the thing you say, you break this guy out, and it's a little bit beefy in terms of wow, that I wasn't okay. Yeah, you see how we just went from iterations per second to seconds per iteration? There you go. Yeah, this talking about AI generation as a neat perspective and sound design. I can't even kind of come to a thought of like giving a damn about copyright. Like not even like, oh, it's not even attacking copyright. Like I just don't care. Like people have been so bad about legal acquisition of samples that just attempting to get in the way of that at all is just a losing proposition. It's always been. What I think will be more fun is the bigger models, the Stable Audio 2 that's trying super hard to do whole cloth generation, like making songs that are just finished songs. Like that, I think. Because like if you can copyright a book, which is just an assembly of language, you can copyright a finished song for the same reasons. And in the before 4 times, that'd be an almost Herculean task for you to sit down and try and like uniquely identify your song in such a way that could be copyrighted just from its like description. But now we have this stuff, which means we will absolutely be able to do that like with scientific precision. There's a teensy bit of E minor in there. You hear that? Okay, breaking into chimes, breaking into. Okay, hold on. Lanky metal impact. Actually, let's say impact. See what happens. What we're talking about in hardware, they use a pitch shifting window is mat format, but a phase key for good. Thought it'd be cool to move this around. Too hard to have index mapping as filters and additive. What are we talking about? In hardware, you use a pitch shifting window. Yes. 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 Okay. Yeah. I see. I feel you. I agree. That would be dope. Like, the kind of the weirdness comes from trying to differentiate the difference between phase and pitch, when a lot of the times phase processing it utilizes pitch shifting just to do it. The same way, like if you're DJing, right, and like you put your hand on one of the decks, like you're changing pitch, but you're doing it to change phase. And the Harmer is like DJing 1,000 decks, and at a certain point, it isn't really a different process. Try a sequence of notes and chords. Yes, why don't we do that? Actually, yeah. I'll try and have it I'll have it generate a riff. I haven't done that yet. I've had it process riffs I put into it. But yeah. Like what I think this is going to be good at, especially when like we get a generation later in hardware and we get to do some of this stuff in real time, because we are very close to being able to do this frame by frame, which is nuts. And pretty soon, like we're getting close to being able to do like video crap, AI video crap in real time. And when that happens, live accompaniment, live a band. You can just train your own band. You can play with you. Ah. Oh, some of the funnest things ever is trying to get it to generate vocals because it doesn't do words. It doesn't do words at all. I did say impact. Dang. See, the resynthesis prospect is a fun thought. I might more cleanly be able to do that to get an AI generated element into something like a direct wave instrument a little faster. Because direct wave generation from inside FL, like I have a couple of direct wave instruments where I made it. Like I got a couple Kepler based ones. Oh, let me show off something ridiculous for a second. I like Kepler a lot, and one of the reasons I like it a lot is that it does its job of being a VA super duper well enough that it reminds me a lot of using the Novation Peak, which is super awesome. And the Novation Peak is sort of like a later version of like where this thing goes, because it's just the same thing 8 times. And so I did that. I made a patcher that's Kepler, the same thing 8 times. And here would be. So there's a UI because what I've done is I took every single like relevant parameter that I give a shit about, including the ARP, and split it out into 8 copies twice. So here's 8 copies, and this is essentially unison index mapping for every single parameter because that's what I want. And then I did it twice because this thing again is so good at its VA job that I can treat it like an instrument and just multi-track it and it'll work. So that's what this is for. Oh yeah, and that actually that sounds we were hearing were created by that this biz. Where is it? Yeah. This was made by a couple of those instances. Like it's like that. The word that should fill into your brain when you hear that, if you're an old enough producer, is Nord lead. And like the fact that I got there by doing the super layering the virtual analog instrument is a testament to the fact that it works. So it's good stuff. Like I'm a big fan of Kepler. Good job, Dan. Dan the dev. Do. Oh, do you not have an about in here? Oh, here it is. Nope. Huh. Usually these plugins have the credits in them. I was going to be all like, look at Dan. I would play it, but I don't have my keyboard in front of me. I just have my regular typing keyboard. And I designed that whole thing to be basically velocity sensitive because I like playing it. Let's do a different one, right? Let's do a freshie. Nah. So, oh wait, I forgot. Where is it? Spread phase. So one of the things that happens, funny, right? Like the virtual analog quality is that when you turn on, you play notes, is that it's actually still running the waveform underneath. It's still, and every time you play it, you're just opening up the gate because that's analog. And what that means is that if I set up whatever I'm doing and then I clone it, whatever it's doing or whatever the other thing is doing will never be in sync. But it actually can be. And the way that it can be is if you have them both doing the both thing and then you instantiate both of them at the same time. So like if you have a preset and then you just have 2 of them, if you've added them together at different times, they'll be in different phases. But if you add them together at the same time, they'll be in the exact same phase. And that includes if you load up 16 of them in a patcher, they'll all be in the exact same phase. And that's kind of not what you want when you're doing stuff like this. Hello? I'm a car. Oh yeah, there you go. So we got FM going, and then I have unison index mapping depth FM different for every voice. And that's giving us this like incredible. It's just so good, and it's the exact same kind of good that I like from the Novation Peak. Like I kept that piece of hardware around because it was like I have not experienced a lot of things, but then again, I haven't tried super hard to go into the VA land of things and out there like the UV products or the UV products, the UV or the UV products. Yes, the superest saw. Let me just, actually, you know what? Let's stay in the AI theme, shall we? I haven't actually used this thing yet. Ridiculous. So we could write an ARP. That's fun. Oh. You know what? I'm taking it. It's happening. But I'm beefing you a little bit. Play, you fool. I am the fool. What is that overlap? What is that? Is it a group? It is a group. I hate that note though, but like D group. How do I ungroup stuff? Oh, it was Alt G. I think I see now. I see now why that particular generation went and did that. 1 second. All right. That. Cool. Well, you know, I'm taking it anyway. Let's do it. Put doot in there. And then I'm gonna render this into the folder. Where'd it go? It's here, in there. Okay. So this is super saw. Super. I'm not gonna know what that is. Saw. Super saw. And yeah, 24. Oh man, something a lot about the audio generation here is that it generates it into FLACs. Dupe. Then we gotta go get it. All right, 7 seconds, not bad. All right, what should we do it to it? Actually, no, I'm gonna do this to it. I'm gonna see what it does. Let's straight up half and half. All right, so this is part of the fun. Like you tell it that you just let it go, and half the original, half this generation. Alt G. It totally was Alt G. Do I still game? Do I? I did have a gaming channel, but I never more plainly felt the adage of being careful about doing things for fun for work than that. Like I like work. I like particular fun work. Like I like this stuff. Like it is work, but it's good work. Like the work I like. But like video games are not work, and making them work felt stark. It was not exactly as much fun as I thought. Plus, so many other people are so much better at it than I am. What? That was half. Well, 50 steps, I guess. All right, fine. Let's do a third. Doot. Color base it. See, okay. So also, let's talk about where it gets where Stable Audio gets its information. It trained its data on freesound.org. I shit you not. We are basically rating freesound.org. This is the freesound.org engine. That's what this is. I'm actually kind of impressed it managed to, okay, well, that's also a problem. We told it what key it was in. That was only a third. Like I would not notice a change in an image at that amount of denoising. Yeah, super vacuum. Was that what a Hoover is? I know what a Hoover is. I'm making a joke. If Dr. Seuss had an orchestra, isn't that Danny Elfman? No, I'm sorry, that's Randy Newman. Randy Elfman. All right, if we had AIs, that's what I'd be doing, training it on Danny Newman and Randy Elfman and making them a thing. Okay, that's just is it doing the thing again? It is. I have done the thing again. I'm an idiot. Every time. You'd think I'd be better at this because of my freaking patcher experience, but here I go. Here it is. All right. Let's go back to half because we didn't actually do half. Oh my god. Do. Oh yeah, I did actually try to tell it to do fun things like bass. That was me using the word neurofunk. And that one too. And is that not just a dope ass riff? It just shat out of nothing. Like I kind of like it, oh my god. I've been a little scared to do like main element in generation like that, just because I don't exactly want to feel how outclassed I'm going to be instantaneously. There you go. All right, that sounds more half and heavy. So that's it turning into waves, and it like kind of got some voices in there. All right. It does. It like a lot of this stuff does kind of have that like Mick Gordon-y like crunched like. Oh yeah, the melodic one especially like. How cool was that? I would have to do so much work to manually do that, and that's only if I thought of it. The Make It Neuro Machine, that would be pretty great. All right, okay, so that was 50. It still kind of sounded like the progression, so that's good. But so I only go a little bit farther down. Yeah, it does help to do genres that sound like noisy garbledness to be doing this with noisy garbledness. To be fair, you can make it not be noisy garbledness, and it's almost as easy as telling it not to be noisy. Just putting it in the negative. Alrighty, all right. Some of them they fine-tuned a piano generator out of it. Like, good. I just tried telling it to do pianos earlier, like note by note, and it couldn't do shit. Like stuff like this, I would use for the same things that I would like use like a granulized like shitstorm I made out of a sound I made, like to do like backgroundy kind of like textural change. Okay, in fact, let's try that. Guitars, acoustic guitars, expressive performance. What? Clear. Let's try clear. Yeah, that should be fine. Well, fine as in it'll do it, but fine as if it'll be really good. We'll find out. Okay, hilarious. I could kind of hear the very beginnings of it happening, but it's not enough weight. So now we're going to go a little bit higher above 50, 68%. So this is a preview audio node, and if I want to save it, I can right click it and I can save it. But until I do that, it's not saving it. It's important because I just be generating crap all the time. But if I felt like automatically saving it because I was doing something like setting up a generation script that I'm going to run overnight, that'd be what this is for. All right, so because we're using an original generated, I'm going to pick this guy, the differential diffusion. I don't know what IM stands for. And this is a thing that makes it try to care a little more about the original. That's what that's about. I don't actually know what it'll do with the Euler function, which is Euler. That's how you pronounce that. Euler. Euler. And Hemp. Euler and Hemp. Can you guys see those menus? Okay, you can. Good. So this would be where telling it things like BPM and key would help us out. What key would we say is this? Is this C sharp or is this like an inverted situation? Oh, I think it might be F. It's just F. All right, so it wasn't inverted. So probably F minor. I don't care if it invert. I don't like the other progression should work out. And then what am I BPM? 140. I didn't change anything. I should have known that. I almost didn't tell it BPM. I wonder if it would know. It's possible that it might. Like I haven't even begun to work towards figuring out how to do training for these things, because one day I'm gonna make like Reese machines. That's gonna happen, and it's gonna be functional. Holy shit. God damn. All right, let's go back down to lower values. How does it interpret the prompt? So the prompt is basically just super fancy addressing. And honestly, it has to do with the generation as well as the prompt. Like the thing has to be, because there are people out there who make their own models, and then they have their own keywording, their own like the special words they use to like do the thing they're doing, which can kind of fuck it up if you don't know what they are. What's up, 9 a.m.er? It's 9 p.m. over here. So, all right, this would be an example. Also, if I were trying to do this, I would probably be doing it chord by chord. I would probably chop up the thing and then do it chord by chord. And then if I'm gonna do that, I would do it by putting the fix in. And then that's what that's good for, because then it'll do the same thing the same way, and the minor changes will be changed that minorly. Yeah, why not? Let's make it neuro. Let's do hard bass neuro Reese. Try that. And what else? See, if I say drum and bass, it'll put drums in there. That's the problem. But will it recognize DNB? It might. And we're gonna get rid of these because and that. Never mind. All right. It's all errors. It's absolutely it is a language model. It's just not like the language model. It's not specifically ChatGPT driven. It's not specifically whatever. It's per model, like whatever they allow words to be used for. They are all built on models. Like all the stable diffusion models are the regular stable diffusion models and then some. So like the generalizing will still work. But if they make a specific model, then it's that you have to know what the specific words are for. Nasty. Oh, that's a good word. Put that in there in a second. Oops, I hit Q. I didn't do anything. Holy shit. Oh man, and really, that's what I love this for the most. Like, you'll never find resampling this cool. This is based in Freesound. Presumably it's based on whatever the tags in Freesound are. Because I really have no idea what kind of like information conditioning they did when they made this model. I didn't even know this shit existed until they were already on the second one, which I think uses their own generation and not Freesound's stuff. Also, I have to look into it all. I haven't done any of the training for the image stuff. Oh, okay. I know what we need to try. I did do this a little the first time I did this, but I haven't done it more. Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI. Wow, they got the colored stuff into Edison. That's kind of neat. The frequency generation mapping, or not generation. You know what I mean? The happening. This is all normalized, right? It's pretty loud. Cool. Oh yeah, so that's something else fun. I'm here being like, oh, I'll save size, and it doesn't know what to do if you don't give it a stereo sample. It doesn't, even if the thing is the same thing in both channels, it needs 2 channels. It will not work. Okay, I'm keeping the same prompt in. This is it. We're about our modulator. I do actually think the AI will destroy the business of music, because that's primarily what it is a threat to, is making money. It is absolutely not a threat to making music. It's the best thing to happen to making music since the guitar. Holy crap. All right, I want to actually hear what that sounds like next to my voice, because I have no idea how like on that is or not. Where is it? I put them both in here. All right. Hi. Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI. Damn. Like there's your movie glitchy sound effects for your sci-fi voice transmitter thing right there. Jeez. Dune speak. Yeah, he did it there. Let's try some more. Let's do. So I'm trying to make it make a bass. I know it can. Like we saw it do it, right? Like we saw it generate low end on those drums. I did use a 16-bit wave. Does it work better for a 24-bit or? I guess it would work better for a 24-bit. It's a literally higher resolution, and we're dealing with resolution. That's insane. Well, resolution of color depth, essentially, between black and white. Interesting. That was 76%. I guess. Oh, I have. Well, not that I know that worked out super well exactly. Let's just try 60%. Oh. Play with the noise in it level? What noise at that level? I mean, I don't use custom noises. I just am using whatever's in the latent. What? It doesn't like 24-bit. I guess that makes sense. It was trained on an individual standard, and it was probably the most widely correct sample rate available, or bit depth available on Freesound. I want it to still hear my voice, and it's loud enough that it should be able to carry itself. I wonder, if I like compress it super hard. I have tried that with the guitar, when I was trying to get the drag guitar to come out as drums. Ooh, I bet you if I beatbox it, that would pretty well turn the drums pretty fast. All right.
Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI. Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI.
See, that's what okay, the chat user Royal Cities here is talking about the trained model that they used for the audio. You train it on a piano, and if I put my voice in there, it would come out pianos. And like, to be fair, I'm going to tell it to do that right now, and it's not going to do a good job. So that's why said individual made the trained model. So that's pretty cool. That's where we are right now. That's the future of stuff. Let's see. Fast. What? Dynamic. Dynamic. There you go. I have found, so this happens pretty fast, right? Like a couple times I just let it go like 100 steps, and like it actually does a pretty good job. That, you know, especially at lower noises, because then it can do the finer details finer. I'm real curious to see what this one does. So is Deep Sampler free? Because I looked that up. I saw someone talking about Audio Lab, and I went and Googled that, and it was all like, oh, it's just a tunnel into the service that you had to pay for. Like, this model is being run locally, and like that, I like that. I'd rather not have to sign up, like, get up to a server, you know what I mean? Huh? Ooh, it tried to segment it into rhythms. Ooh, oofly. Oofly Dangerfield. All right, higher percentage. I need to at least hear it do it. What if I wrote C3PO? I think it might actually know that. I think it might actually know what that is. It depends. So then again, this depends on like the pop culture knowledge of freesound.org, which is probably pretty vast. Oh, right, that was the problem. I looked it up and it was Mac only. I was like, oh fuck. Well, all right. It really just generated like a sound effect. It generated like, well, I mean, it did what I told it to, but this is like a you just opened the box sound effect from a game. Ah, you got the shitty thing. All right, less than that. Oh, yay, getting. Well, once it has a Windows version, I'll totally pick that up. Like I have tried most of the things I've seen exist for this, as long as they're free. I've done most of that, and also ones that let me do things to stuff like this. I love me some Comfy UI because I hate coding. I am bad at it. I am bad at languages in general, and that is just another language that I'm bad at. But this crap, I'll do all day. That's kind of neat. All right, let's try something different. Let's try. So this is my voice. It's in the middle range. Let's turn it into a viola. Performative expression. Doesn't matter what key or whatever it's in. It's just got to follow the voice, right? So. That last one did work out pretty good. So ChatGPT can do all the coding, but I've also looked into Claude to do some coding because I want to learn how to make clap plugins. Because I'm not paying Steinberg. Not that I don't want to, I just can't. Wow, that really does sound like my voice was just ripped out of the air and forced inside of Viola's body, like against everyone's will. That's what that sounded like. I'm going to save that. All right, I like that example, so let's try a little bit more. I'm a scheduler, so I'm keeping it on DDIM right now because I wanted to do the thing that does the differential diffusion. But you know what? There is a bit of a hack. I can do a thing. I can do a thing. Where is it? Boop. Where we can do both. Where we can patch in differential diffusion into the model and then do a different schedule. Like, oh, okay, you know what? Let's mess with these guys. As far as I'm aware, these are the two newest ones, and they're weird. They do weird things. Go back to half and half. Half and half is a good place to start when you're setting up new settings. if you're trying to, morph a thing. It is pretty like a convolver. I'm actually not 100% sure how a convolver works. Like, I know what it does, and I know the process of creating it, but like math, I know way more about the math of how this works than how a convolver as a system works. Yeah, the ancestral types are pretty good for doing from a source, because they're pretty good at maintaining their whatever it is. Like, that's what they're for. They're pretty good at coming up with whatever they come up with and sticking with it. Oh, that sounds like there's a microphone inside a violin that was hearing me talk while someone was like playing, like they're playing and hearing me talk at the same time. Kind of had like a acoustic riff to it. Let's see if it even knows. I said vast before, and I'm not 100% sure that space is a thing that it gets super well. Albeit now we got this going on, so it's probably doing stuff. See, another thing that I like, I was showing off these like various melodics. Like, if I can get it to work out well enough, and it can stay in the same key well enough, having like 9 of these would make a thing sound cooler than anything has ever sounded. Like, because the relationship between them will be the same but different perfectly, flawlessly. That was kind of creepy. That was half and half too. Okay, let's try less than half, because I guess the DD is picking up some slacks. And you know what? I'm gonna exponential maybe. I actually haven't messed with this one in a while. I do want to keep, but then there's these. That's for videos, for frames, for videos. It's like the speedy for animation. Oh, it's a perculum. What's up, man? Thanks for $10. Love me some $10. Perculum. Hey, you know something I finally discovered recently? Massive X rules. Like, I didn't get it for a long time, but I do now. It kicks a lot of ass. Yeah, so talking about language models, right? I think something that Open Audio 2 or Stable Audio 2 does at all is integrating large language modeling of music theory. And not just like Western theory, but like all of it. And that's something that absolutely Stable Audio, this version, Open, does not have. And it doesn't know shit. It knows notes, it knows hertz values, it knows keys. It doesn't know riffs. It doesn't know songs. It just knows stems. That's all it knows.
Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI. Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI. Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI.
All right, that was 40. Let's try 45. That was interesting, I think. So, okay, something else I haven't tried either is what can I do with bass design? Like, if I just have a bass sound, I'm not even going to make one. I'm just going to grab one I already made. You guys remember this crap? This will be a great example. How the hell do I want to put this in there? This is the least efficient way I could be doing what I want to do right now. Oh, fuck you. It knows. It knows it was the least efficient. It was like, no, do it right. Did it just save that as a... It did. All right, well, gotta not save it as 32-bit. Like, it doesn't, never mind 16-bit, 24-bit, almost nothing. Even now, it's been decades. And come on. Okay. Also, let's see what this did.
Hi, I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to be changed by AI.
I like made myself laugh. I sound like I'm laughing. It's weird. Oh, Faceplant. Someone just asked me if I like Faceplant and Massive X more. Like, Faceplant by 4,000 margins. what kind of hardware this runs on. Right now I'm using a GTX 1660 Super, which is not a bad card, but it is an old card. And that this is working at all is somewhat of a miracle. It only works on NVIDIA graphics cards as far as I'm aware. I think that's just a at-large stable diffusion thing. I do not know. What was I just doing? Oh yeah, this. Let's turn the bass into something. Okay, so actually, since we're using a fairly low frequency thing, that means we can do kind of Foley work. Like we can work non-tonal things into this note, right? So because it's a D, what is it? What should we warp into this? Oh yeah, Z Luda was a thing that worked for AMD, but I guess it was discontinued. Oh, it works on the A100 chips. All right, let's do explosions. Avalanche. Volcano. Life without spell check is weird. Nope, none of that. Voices, choir, yelling. D minor. This is just so much fun. So like I kind of want to get like a bass version of what the thing, right? Like imagine like the coolest concept of resampling or vocoding you could ever have thought of. That's kind of what I'm going for here. That's what I want. Holy fuck. Already beautiful. Why? That was 45%. Like, I have to imagine this. But I mean, okay, to be fair, the like years and years ago, when stuff was still like ChatGPT audio generation based, I saw someone rip off a real good like Skrillex. Like someone's like, do a Skrillex, and it basically did. And that was when I was like, oh, it's over. We're done. Woohoo! Yo, animals and monster sound effects are going to be, there's basically no excuse anymore. There's just no excuse anymore. Learn GitHub, get GitHub, hub a get. This is where this is from. This is all. And then you got to GitHub yourself to go get the audio model. I hate it. I hate how setting this stuff up works. It's doing a real good job maintaining. Oh, you know what? It's probably because it's bass. It has a lot more amplitude than my voice did. So I guess some amount of like non-linear normalization has to happen for AI to be better at looking at it. I bet you that's probably what they did in Stable Audio tool. Stable Audio tool. Yeah, get GitHub. That's what GitHub is. Seriously, it's like the gamer mentality, but coding. All right, so that's a little. But okay, what's too much? Like, I want to know what it thinks actually these things are if it's not happening to itself. Of course, I'd be going for like the hard, like computing difficult option. Woo! What? Oh, I put choir in there, but yelling. Well, okay. Raw generation is always weird with the weird model. Let's try exponential. Nope, but we're not going to use the hump. It's too long for hump. It would take too long. I don't know, but I don't know. Okay. Plus. 86%. It's going to be weird anyway. Is this free? Yes, it is. All of it is free, and not even like illegal free. It's completely regularly free. Regular, and you are allowed to use this crap in things. Like, it's good.
Whoa.
Now it just like, sorry, you want yelling? Hey, look, this is what you sound like.
Whoa.
Just genuinely funny. Let's go back to the half and half though. I want to see what exponential and ancestral do at the same time on something like this. AI was absolutely mocking me. Oh, look at me, I'm human, I control things. How interesting. It took out the bass completely, that one. 50-50 murdered the bass. It is... what we're looking at right now, what we're experiencing me do with this is violently slow. The online version can do like 20 of them at a time at the time it takes me to do these things. And like someone with an appreciable video card would blink and we'd be done. Okay, that's a good question. Let's see if it knows who I am. I don't know. I have no idea if capitalization matters. If I exist in the data at all, this is what good SEO gets you, because good SEO is actually still going to be valuable. If it knows me at all, it will find it. Let's not do that though. Let's do simple. Let's be easy. ChatGPT knows how to look up the title of a YouTube video. I don't think that counts as ChatGPT knowing who I am. Also, someone did the thing. I didn't write the wiki article. Okay, well, since my sound is already in there, I will not know if it works. So let's go get a sound that's not that. What are you? Oh, perfect. Basically, this was me experimenting, making custom noise. Like, you make custom noise with visual stuff, and there's me making custom noise for audio. So let's see if it can turn that into a bass. Beat map. All right, let's see what we got. So also something else to note is that like in the time that regular diffusion came out, like it took a long time on the card, and then later models like Flux can do what it does in one step, what old models used to take whole like expressions to do. And so like stuff's getting faster. What in God's name? What at all? Oh, wow. Someone called the thing I did something haunting one time, and I think I get it now. ChatGPT know what my dad? Yeah, the horde. That was the horde coming. That's for sure. Oh yeah. So all the quantizing. I try to rock the biggest ones I can if I can. Like, because like the quantized flux, you literally can see the cubature in it. You can see the it's like, come on. We shadow the classes now, baby. I don't know that it is going to get this. Reduce the number of steps? Okay. Yeah, you know what? I haven't tried. Let's try that. Hello. Oh, man. I'm just so happy about this stuff, and I'm also very happy with the direction that like ImageLine has gone with things like, because like if I get a sample in here that I like but it has like drums in there or whatever, I could just take them out with the AI stem separator. It has a very weird idea of what I'm asking it to do. All right, I'm gonna cheat. Even though, honestly, if I were my own ass self to classify the kind of bass I do, I wouldn't have said dubstep, but I know that everyone else does. So let's play with our strengths, huh? CFG is 8 by default. Lower CFG just kind of in this case kind of means it's just going to be a lot more of the average cloud fare. Oh fuck! In the duck. Oh my god. We're making horror stings now? We're Clive Owen? Not Clive Owen. Clive Barker. Clive Owen's someone else. Let's actually crank the CFG a bit. 20 steps wasn't bad. I might try. Oh no. It lets me use the LCM counter, but I don't think it'll work. Damn. That. What does it think? What is any? This is less about what it thinks and more about like what have tags become. It's beatboxing. It is beatboxing. What have tags become? I mean, it's a nice bass. All right. We're doing Dedum. With it. Oh, fuck. I forgot. It wasn't that hard to set up. Like, this isn't nearly as hard to set up as, like... Okay, maybe it might have been the hardest thing to set up that I've set up about this, but that's not saying a lot. A lot of this stuff ain't that difficult. Oh, shit. What? That had groove. That had style and, like, thought to it. Oh. Well, okay, but it's got that organ shit going on. So wait, what did I put in here? That thing. Yeah, let's not have that anymore. Let's go back to my voice. Hi, I'm Seamless. I had doing the Seamless bass to me saying hi, I'm Seamless. Could this get any dumber? That's pretty nothing. So yeah, the length of the sample also I think determines what it thinks its job is, because like with the longer stem with the drums, it had like pauses and things.
Hi, I'm Seamless. And it makes it a change my.
Hi, I'm Sean Connery. I'm doing a Seamless impression.
Hi, I'm Seamless. And it makes it a change my.
Wow, that's kind of a neat sound. Oh my gosh! All right, no more uniform. Let's go back to beta. And okay, we're doing a hoop. We're doing a hoop. Buckle up. Okay, it's only 20 steps. I guess it's not that bad. It does have that like analog jank, like circuit bent input vibe to it, which is pretty. It's pretty ridiculous that that's happening by accident. It's pretty That's almost always like the thing that's like the thing that digital can't do. It's almost like we're bypassing digital's problems by doing it like this. Fucks. That's not even a bass. Hoomp is usually better about that, but I guess 20 steps isn't enough time to get up in there. Let's try Karas. I don't know how to. How hard would it be to get this process to be live? Not hard at all, actually. I have been thinking about that because it is actually possible to get MIDI in and out of this thing, and that's basically all we need to make that work. So that's I have been thinking about ways to do like live performances where things I perform end up in the process and then come out automatically in a way that would be like a predetermined file, but it's not a predetermined file. It was determined live. It just took a second to process. That would actually make a pretty sick patch, right? In Ableton, like I'm using that word right. I know that I am, but like it's like almost unusable as its state for me, but it is usable for the majority of people that do things. That's interesting. Because that's what most of the formats of sounds are going to be up on Freesound, isn't it? Things that are made into patches. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me actually try to make let me try and do bass sounds. Like I'll beatbox. Oh, okay. I can't. I'm not that good at beatboxing. So, but I'm just gonna make sounds instead of words, and we'll see if it does that any better. I like that idea. Excuse me. Definitely not gonna record a cough. Okay. Do you guys remember when dubstep was new and like there was all those YouTube videos of people making faces to the wobs? Okay, if it does anything with that, I'll be impressed. I don't even, it doesn't even be good. If it like cohesively creates anything, I'll consider that. I mean, I as though I haven't already been completely blown away by this technology. Obviously, like it's all gravy. Why not record a cough? Because I don't want to break my microphone. This is a very old microphone. It's not like classic I care about it old microphone. Like I've just had it for an extremely long time. Make that my new voicemail, that fucking sound. See, if this were stable audio too, and it were locally generatable, I could load that in there and tell it to do a genre, and it would probably sound like that. All right, so that's not. I can barely tell it was happening. Let's start at the beginning with simples. That's weird. It like reorganized it. It kind of, oh, I'm not giving it a note. That's why. I'm still trying to be seamless. It doesn't work. Step. Bass drop. Bass only. Legally, no. All of this is totally free, as if it were just normal like VST. Like it's, and even if it wasn't, the people who put this out, I just state that they don't care. What the? Okay, I need to hear what that sounds like on the lower. I'm gonna save that though. That's definitely a haunted. That counts as a haunted bass. What in the world are these nodes doing? Okay, well, this guy does what it sounds like it's doing. Loads an audio. This is doing nothing right now because it's not connected to anything. This is loading clip, which is an acronym. I don't know what it stands for, but it's the concept of the descriptor. But this whole stuff is this like tokenizing business, which didn't happen until Stable Diffusion 3 and Flux came out, and Pony, I guess. And then all of a sudden now this is this. Yeah. So you get positive and you get negative. And then so it's like what I want and what I don't want. And then it goes into the sampler. And it does a whole bunch of like comparative checking, and then based on the concept of the model, which is brought through here, it's just hooray model. And then it has the encoding and the decoding. This is just the thing I was doing that I should probably stop doing. Now that we're doing this, and then decoding, and there's the thing. It plays it. But that was perfect. That was actually just sounds like my face making a bass. That actually is almost like, wow, that's ridiculous. What's up from France? Nabishin 77. Yeah. Abstract Cats, what's up? Long time no see, it's true. I've barely existed for the past 1,000 years. I'm going to save that too. It's less haunted and more awesome. But I'm going to call it haunted anyway because it's got a voice in it. All right, let's do 47%. Use it as a vocoder. It's like your mission in life, isn't it, man? And 20 steps too. Low steps apparently work out. Like a good call on that mode. Oh my god. Like FL just, oh, there's so many things that I can use in tandem. I'm going to be able to do call and response to myself, like with this. That's what this is going to let me do. Excuse me. What does the denoise setting do? So this represents how much of it is caring about what's original or not. So right now we're loading audio in, and if this is at 1.0, it means it's not giving a damn what the audio is. It's completely reorganizing it all from beginning to nothing. And then this is, it's only noising up half of it. So this is called Comfy UI, by the way. This is the name of the thing. It's comfy.org. And that you can, there's a whole life of time of instructions about how to install this crap, but it's there. I also highly recommend getting the Comfy UI Manager, which is a custom node. But then once you have this, you can use this to do everything you need to do with custom anything. Like get like the nodes you need to do kind of whatever, get the models you need to do whatever. They're in there. And that's just the ones in here. Like there's also a website. I guess they don't have audio stuff yet. Not a whole lot of people have audio stuff yet. So I guess we're not going to worry about that. But anyway, noising. The noise concept is the whole basis on as to how stable diffusion works. And it's the smartest thing about it. It's about this thought that if you put a bunch of random noise, color, up, down, bright, light, like that kind of thing, like over an image percentage wise. So it's like you look at a cell phone and it's half and half noise. It's kind of fogged up. If it's 100% noise, you can't see any of it. If it's 10% noise, you can see most of it. And what happens is that it takes the calculation of all of those pixels at those various levels of noises, and then it just disregards, and it says, okay, do that again. We'll do whatever you're doing based on whatever definition. And then it takes the calculations, and every time it randomly puts out noise, it checks to see how close to that particular generation it got. And then it moves it around, and then it does the more checks and says, did you get closer? Did you not get closer? And then it does hot and cold until it gets to the end, the last step, where it's using like less noise. And that's how it would work on an empty image if it were trying to make a new thing from nothing. But right now we're making a new thing from something. So it's doing that, it's rearranging the noise, but it actually isn't starting from noise, it's starting from content. So it's trying to rearrange the content, but only as well as we're giving it the power to, however many steps, which is 0 to whatever percentage. So if I set it up to 1, it will divide the 0 to 100% into 20 steps. So if I did 200 steps, it'd be a much finer attempt in between each step, but it would take a long time. And half and half just means that like it just doesn't have as much noise to move around. So it means that if I really use very little noise, it will sound almost exactly like the original input. Like it should sound imperceptibly different. On an image, it's almost like you didn't see anything happen because it moved like a color gradient's pixel to the left or something. So, all right. Stop it. You heard like a little bit of like a roll off on some of the higher frequency fuzz, and that's just because that's all I had the power to move around. And then if I move a lot more, and so the sampler name and the schedule name, this just determines how. Actually, you know what? Look at these grids, right? So let's say like the clip business, it's like whenever you make a model, the model has information for like, here's a shoe. And then it has like, okay, this is a shoe, that's a shoe, that's a shoe, that's a shoe, that's a shoe, like different pictures of shoes, like CAPTCHA, which by the way was AI training. But you just have all your images of shoes, and then just like that CAPTCHA system, the sampling is going, okay, so we're getting shoe, now randomly pick a shoe from in here. And then like exactly how that random is shaped is just what this is. That's all that is. And so it's like, I want a brown shoe that's wet from the rain outside. And it has all those 4 words, and then it has everything that those 4 words represent. And then it just goes all around him, whatever pattern that you tell it to, according to whatever amount of noise you tell it to, according to whatever input you tell it to. And then that's how that shit works. And it works because we have the hardware capable of doing that kind of thing in real enough time that we can see it happen. It's dope. It's just so dope. So as far as picking other samplers, sometimes some stuff just doesn't work with particular samplers. And so, because sometimes like things like the really fast ones for video are not looking at most of the data to save time. And then if you like are expecting a certain amount of data, it just doesn't work. Wow. Yeah, so that one, it used the information that we had, but it was capable of getting into a direction by moving it around so fast and so much that now the original concept is just gone. This would be the equivalent of trying to make a picture and like say I want like a glass of water that's shaped like this picture, but instead it just gives you like a glass of water that has like the same color information as the picture. It technically used the information, it just didn't. It just had too much. It did too much. Oh, and there's a lot of really fun blends and stuff you can do with image things that I cannot wait for someone to figure out how to do in audio. Fuck me. I do recommend everyone gets used to this sort of thing. Like gets it, like installs it, uses it late, like in the local bit. I have a good time with it. Let's see, what else should we make an attempt to do? We did a lot of vocal stuff. I tried the thing with the metal thing, but it's actually getting kind of late. I haven't noticed how long I've been doing this. Transformers, okay. It kind of already sounds like dubstep. Let's try. Like if we're going to use this sound, okay, let's do something not at all bass. Let's say I want to make a like opera singer. Orchestral choir? Opera. Oh. Let's see what it could possibly do. Nice to see you expand your mind. With spaces in it, with the mind expanding. That's pretty good. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that. Someone said like people are gonna be able to lots of like I turn Mozart into dubstep by just like putting Mozart into dubstep. Like yeah. Now that's haunted. That's some haunting right there. There you go. Choirs. Choirly. Let's see, generate a melody from this, right? Melodic synth sound. Happy progression. Yes. Do the thing. That didn't work at all. I'll be right back. And I'm back. It's 4 seconds too short. That's actually a good point. We could do a lot of more, well, that's not what's happening. But no, you can do a lot shorter than that. You can do samples, you know, kicks. Track from scratch with only AI samples. It would take kind of a while, is the thing about that. Like, just from generation. And like, it would be mostly just sitting around doing this. Which, to be fair, is kind of what I do a lot of my time, so it's not like I have a problem with that, but I don't know if that'd be that interesting to watch. I guess tell me, how interesting is this to watch? This is using Riff Fusion. Is that a thing? That sounds awesome. I have never heard of that, but all right. Well, that's what? How at all did it conclude? Come, that was so far. All right, let's give it a little more steps. Some more steps. At all. Maybe bring the CFG back to normal levels. And we are doing the thing with the thing, so let's use anything. So Riff Fusion is a thing? Music Gen? Oh, I remember Music Gen. I think that was the one that did was the example of hearing the thing about the Skrillex, and I was like, oh, damn. All right, just for fucks, I want to see what this does on just naked. So I want to know what it thinks this is without any help, like with nothing. I have been thinking about doing it, like especially because like my favorite thing ever when I first started producing was running around and finding drum loops, and like this thing is just the drum loop generator. Like those are still the ones that are based on. Oh yeah, so I did this thing. That was what all of these drums were from. And then I decided I wanted to see what would happen if I put drums in that were just the fundamentals of the sounds, just the lowest part of it, and then how well would it come up. And the answer is varied. It's quite varied. I think that was just generated raw. Speaking of raw, let's see what you sound like. That's what it was trying to do? I didn't tell it to do notes. I guess I just said, Do, 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 do. Do I still have the drums in here? I have. Yeah, this was too low level. I remember that being a problem. Do I only have those? Nope, I have these. What are you? All right, let's see if we can't get better drums out of that. Let's go straight to our. I wonder what that stands for. 1960s jazzy breakbeat acoustic drums. I wonder how many of that needs commas. See, let's do 1960s jazz breakbeat. One word. Drums only. I put negative there. I don't want to do that. Boop. 6 seconds long. Like generating the weird textures that made like the late 90s, early 2001s drum and bass. Like we'll be able to just talk to one of these and like not just make the thing, because it can make the finished song just fine, but it could also make the parts so that you could jam. Oops, I forgot. Yep, I had it on whole. Had it on whole. I also didn't tell it how fast it is. That really helps. Like any kind of blend VST stuff is amazing. Like all of the best plugins that people love. Like there's this one called Smoosh, I think, or Soothe or something. It's like granular combinating, and like you do that, but with diffusion, it's like super granulizing. You know? Oh yes. Oh. What the fuck? I put a little bass line in there. So like, remember, this is what this was. And it's like. That was dope as hell. I'm saving the hell out of that. Holy crap. Oh, it was the fundamentals. 13. What does VAE mean? Oh, it's a fun word. I found it earlier. It stands for variational autoencoder. That's what it sounds like. Variational autoencoder. I have seen what it looks like when an image, like a Stable Diffusion image, it's printed as an image without going through the VAE process, and it's like it's like a color grade. It's not just a color grading step, but it is basically a color grading step where it alters the weights of everything you're looking at for it to look more like the thing it's supposed to. And if you don't do that, usually it comes out like jank noise. Like it sounds like a VAE in this context is the cabinet part of a guitar, like electric guitar signal chain, where you have the distortion and then you have the cabinet. And if you play it without the VAE, it looks and is just usually just too harsh and broken and busted. But then you put it through the thing it's supposed to make it sound like the thing you want, and now it sounds like the thing you want. And that's pretty much what the VAE does. Okay, cycling the same loop. Actually, yeah, I haven't attempted to do inter-resampling yet, so let's try that. And I should be able to just do this. And then straight out of this. You. And then, yeah, let's have a go. So now it's doing a 50-50 on this, and then, well, a 60-40 on this, and then I'll do a 60-40 on that. And that'll be interesting. This would take all day if this were a picture. Like I've done experiments. Like I've done stuff on stuff because like I wanted to try and make textures for ZGE Viz. I keep coming up because that's a play button. I keep going up there to play it. Now that is an interesting result. It should have gone so much farther. If it went that far from there, how could it only go that to there? Then do something by accident? Am I encoding the wrong thing again? Nope, that's correct. That's this. Oh, maybe because it's still latent. That could be why. Because this is okay. Well, let's do a different duper. First half of autoencoder tries to put a compressed version of stuff. Yeah. Latent space. I say that word like I know what it means. I just know that's called that. Honestly, the documentation on some of this stuff is some of the best I've ever seen. And like I feel like that's like a benefit of going into a new tech field where people want people to know how to do stuff. You know what I mean? Fun. Oh, it's that. That's kind of neat. It's like I generated the A and the B from the thing. That's okay. Or okay. I wonder. Okay, I haven't messed with any of this crap yet, but there's definitely ways to like. Yeah. All right. Is this what? Oh no, this isn't gonna work. This isn't for me. Damn it. There's no. Is it actually 174 BPM? Yeah, actually, yeah. I haven't played any of these that haven't been like the exact thing they said they were. Like this is supposed to be 174. There it is. Boop. Now, which one are you? 13. Ta-da. Look at that. Well, it helps that it was formed on a file that was exactly this long with a beat that was exactly at that time period. You know, it was very. I'm making sure that it happens. Where did I want to? Yeah, let's see. And And then I was going to do something. Oh yeah, the blending with the lanes. But then I realized, yeah, that's not for audio. I haven't actually touched Naked Python for anything, but like I feel like I'm about to because the direct wave is not as efficient at like importing samples into an appropriately mapped situation as the decent sampler, which apparently uses that to do that, and like I might just end up doing that. The synth loop was machine generated. It was an actual synth. This is a synth. And it's on this thing I got, but like I made it with this. I made one change to it. All right, let's try the one that has actual feels. Ooh, let's do the HP. So I actually like doing the HP because I feel like so far I've noticed that it's way better at generating low frequency content than it is high frequency content. I think that's just the steps problem, isn't it? So like this high pass, it doesn't have the sub in it, so it's going to make the sub out of this process. Oh yeah, and masking, that's something. In-painting exists for images, but I have so far not seen any of that for this yet. I don't even know. I do not know how we're going to figure out how to do masking for this either. Max MSP lets you import torch models? That's badass. I have not tried the piano one. The guy that made the piano one is in here though. I gotta learn how to train. Because if I never had to if I just made every drum beat I've ever made in my life, that I all 5 of them and just put them in there and it's like, look, every time I want seamless drums, just give me seamless drums. Great. Holy crap, record labels that have master tracks to all of the most famous music of all time have unbelievable power at their fingertips if they're not already attempting to utilize that as training. Imagine just dialing up John Petrucci. Not even oh, John Petrucci made you a mono, but here's all of the literal best forever. Oh, let's hear this one. Holy shit. Ooh, it did a top layer, low layer, mid, call and response. So that was the, and then, okay, and then it took this and it did this to it. That got less cool, didn't it? They got more busted. Let's try DDM on you, SGM on you. These worked. Let's do straight up ancestral. $1984 for yeah. I'm definitely gonna try. Oh man, there are some people who are way better at figuring out how to talk about how to use Comfy UI. There may be tutorials about this soon, but this is I mean, okay. Well, here's a fun trick. Just since we're doing it, the way that it works, this UI, I'm in a Firefox instance right now, and I'm doing the whole I'm loading my own local self, and then it's loading up the server, and then that's there it is. But you actually can do that from inside FL. It has no actual connectivity whatsoever. It does nothing other than exactly what's happening inside this here window. But if I just take these numbers, come in here, put them in here. Boop. Oh, well, all right, never mind. That's interesting. Why? Oh, because it's inside, it's inside, and it doesn't have the permissions to do file access from in here? Shit. All right. In that case, this is basically useless. I was going to be like, oh, cool, you can actually like do it inside the UI if you felt like it, because that's really all the benefit is that this is just the UI that's in here. But it's actually running Edge because I haven't told it not to. Doop, bap. Gradio. That was a funny thing. Audio Lab. That's the other one. I mean, someone somewhere is eventually going to turn this into like a much more usable element. Like right now, most of the online generations that just have their own UIs don't have. I guess actually Stable Audio 2 does do it from file, doesn't it? But it doesn't give me this kind of like granular control over things. Eventually, someone's going to do that. There'll just be a plugin with one of these buttons, and then that'll be all I want. It'll be great. All right, that sounds like nothing happened. Oh shit, though. So this is what I wanted. I wanted it to be essentially a drummer playing around the beat that I already wrote, so that like it fits with it. Fills and stuff, right? So again, here's this. Almost nothing, right? Almost nothing at all. And then here's this. So like I could just make my beat that's written the way I want my notes to be, and then I just have my stems. Like I had other people make the stems for me, basically. It's that's not what's happening, right? So I'm gonna actually set this to be that. That's what I'm gonna do. And then this guy can be even crazier. Let's do. Okay, no, do that and then do you. Like drum, its ability to do drums is like I'm like already fitting myself into a vision of the future where I never make drums again. Like I only make like the mastering fundamental like requirements for like the impacts. And I've experienced it making low end. That's good. It's like almost better than what I would have made synthesized. It's not even almost better. It's genuinely better than what it made synthesized. It pretty much created it will create a new experience. That's the thing merged with the thing so hard that there was no way I would be able to do that by hand. Not without knowing everything about what happened so thoroughly that I basically made it just from the beginning. But like just having a sound that's like a sound, like a drum kit, that's like kind of not the best process. I can just put it through here and be like, here, fix it. Better, perfect sub, better bit. No, oh my God, mastering is over. Yo, mastering AI. We already do this with phones. We already use AI to make the shittier megapixel quality look like the higher megapixel quality just because they did differential diffusion on the sample sets of what a shot looks like on the shitty versus the higher quality, and just apply the process to the shittier that makes it look like the high quality, and it works. Pretty okay. Someone just asked, what's the phase alignment like for this stuff? Like, is it like how? Honestly, I was ready for some like powerfully busted artifacting. I was ready for like clipping out of this world, just not busted, having to sample crap, which still would have been fine. I would have been totally fine if I had to go sample hunting in these things I'm making, but it honestly comes out nice. And without me having to really tell it to either. That's something. Like sometimes with images, you gotta ask it to like not do pretty regular jank for it to just like work. But this actually does a pretty good job. Like I wonder why and how, because like if it's just what's from Freesound, like there's no way like, regular people did not curate that stuff well enough, you know, right? To say like clean sub if it actually came out to sound like a clean sub. Can we use this if we don't have an NVIDIA GPU? Unfortunately, no and yes. There's a CPU run option where you can run the CPU, but it sucks a lot. It could probably do this in like a relative frame time, like a time of frame that's not like terrible, but image creation is just completely out of this question. How weird. It killed the first note. And it remembered the next notes. That's pretty good. All right, so then it did a thing to that. So this is awesome. You can just make your main loop and get your B and C loops out of it just by you get your like complete. Oh my god, that's everyone's problem, right? Like they make their 8-bar loop and they can't extrapolate it into a song. You can just do that. You can just make your 8-bar core and it can do this for you. Yeah, I will eventually do a tutorial on how to set this up, but like it's not simple. It's just not simple. The simplest part of it is getting this, is just going here and getting this. And then if you've got Windows, you do it. It's just a folder and you put it in the thing and then you run it and it works. And then the rest of it is, okay, you got to go get the model and you can just Google stable audio open, which is the name of this model. Stable audio open. There's a stable audio 1, which is online, and stable audio 2, which is online, and stable audio open is the one model that's offline, the first gen model. And then and then get the manager, this thing, Comfy UI manager. Just Google this, and also to get any of this to work, you're going to have to get GitHub. Most of these things just don't want to be downloaded any other way. And then you're going to need to go look up a tutorial on how to actually utilize GitHub in your system, because like I guarantee you, if I tell you, I will tell you wrong. I am bad at it. It annoys me. Like I haven't been this mad at installing something in a long time. But it's like I have to. This is a necessary. This is life now. This is going to be good. Like I will learn this crap. Like it's coming for us all. Oh, I also can't wait till I gotta mostly finish up like figuring out how to talk to it. Cause like once you figure that out, like, cause this is pretty much like a flawless example of what I want. In fact, let's go put in the low pass and see what happens. I want to see that. So here's that same beat, but it has the sub. So now it's basically going to create like the main tone of the sound. Let's see how well it does that. Yeah, this model was not super huge. Not like the Flux model, which is like 25, 23 gigs, something like that. On like the good one. Like there's the trained ones that are FPs. The FPs 8s and 16s, the main one? Shit, I don't know. It is really not bad for essentially what it's like. It's like the ultimate compressed file of all audio from freesound.org. And like you can unpack it if you can correctly put in the password. It's kind of not. Dude, can we reduce like whole servers worth of systems that way? If we just do, is that already how that works? That's already how that works, isn't it? Damn it. Multiband diffusion would sound like nothing, because the second you do 3 different processes with 3 different lanes, like even if you didn't randomize it, because it got different information on the input, it would just go different places. It would like decide the hits were somewhere else, and it would sound like unmitigated disaster. You need like an overarching, like a multiband VAE. And in fact, I'm pretty sure, well, and there's also like the large language model component of like music theory and understanding like a riff. And I feel like that is going to do way more to keep things like multiband, keep things together than like a higher frequency BAE. Yeah, holy load times. This takes a while. Like on this system. Oh, that's because I used the long sample. I was using like a 6-second sample that other time. This is why I made the 6-second sample. Yeah, like AI, this sort of thing is like, if it's information that's yours, it's pretty much perfect. Like if you know what's in there, then there's no reason for it not to be the thing that it is. Yeah, so that's something else about the nodes. Like, I am using a couple of none of these are custom. These are all, yeah, these are all normal. Fortunately, the Comfy UI people decided to have the audio added in there a good few months after it, came out, but it still happened. How interesting. It did like a modulation. All right, let's see what it did to that. How weird, it's got like a ring. So for most of these, like another big reason why like I don't tend to do big, long, like whole like bars of samples is because like I'm gonna have a lot more fun sampling these than I am gonna like using them. Like some of those hits and the bits in there, it's gonna be sick. Like, yeah, that could totally just be chopped up and using the track. Like, I heard a track just fine, like, a second ago. I get this one. I'm using FL as my DAW, but like this is a piece of software called Comfy UI. Someone just asked in the chat. That's what it's called, Comfy UI. It's the name. Comfy.org is the website that it's from. They have lots of tutorials about how to set it up in there. And by lots of, I mean any at all. How functional they are. Left up to the user. All right, let's try something besides drums. I'm going to keep using not this sample. Let's get a slightly smaller sample. Let's go back to the high end seamless. Okay, let's go back to this one. Okay, let's see how good it can do bad beatboxing in the drums. I'm just going to run the same set. Here we go. Should take way less time. Right, so no rings were modulated. Come on. Wow. Busted. Okay, right. That was my voice. I forgot. So again. That's gonna be a total disaster out the other end. Let's do yeah. Oh Christ. Why is this one like the knife one? I'm gonna keep those down. That one's like, oh, I mean. Not in Comfy UI by default, but you can go and get custom nodes. I don't think I have any of them. Oh, I do. Here we go. I don't remember who did these, but there's like stuff you can do. And there's more. Like there's so many nodes. Like there's so many nodes, and people just making them all the time. Like it's not that. You know, here we go. Waveform. Here we go. This is what I got to do that. But if I just put in audio, we probably have lots of. So like before the stable diffusion for audio was happening, what people were using audio for was to drive video creation, and that's what it's using for now. It's like do like audio to voice like to text processing, that kind of thing. There we go. Is this a different sampler? This must have been someone's manual attempt. That was from a while ago. From June. What do we do? That's pretty funny. That's kind of cool. Because why would you expect any of that to go that way? Like that's what I love about this the most. It's not even just like it could do things that I know can be done, so that I know how well they're doing it. They're doing things I've never heard before, like at all. Spectral stuff. So yeah, the beat mapping concept, right? Like there's, I think, where is it? Yeah, the spectrogram stuff is about doing image processing with the spectrogram as processing, which before this was the other best way to do audio AI. A close second to just asking ChatGPT to write you a wave file, but this all of this is so much better than that. And especially like right now we're using particular input samples, but like if you gave it like almost a finished like future bass drop and then told it what it was, it would sort of fill in the blanks, you know? Like this could very easily be the last 10% machine. That sounds like it killed me. Let's see if it even knows what color bass is. When did color bass happen? Was that a 2018 thing? Because that's what I'm trying to come up with like age, like 2010s color. It's not color bass, is it? Bass drop. Sophisticated. Yeah. It's 2010s. It might not get it. Let's find out. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of organs because sometimes future bass kind of like that. Okay, so now it's taking my voice again and it's doing this. It's still doing the half and half to it. It's not doing raw gen. I haven't actually done raw gen in a bit. I really just thought it was dubstep. Like it's always funny to be around when like the older things become the newer things because you tend to want to just call them the older things. At least I do. Like I've seen people who are doing tutorials with these, they're doing the visual stuff and like they're talking about like, okay, and then you hit the go button and then like the whole thing forms like faster than the frame rate can display it. Like that, you know, I know that some powers are possible. For the most part, most artists who are thought of as having created or popularizing something like we're not the ones that like created it. Like, you know, Skrillex didn't invent dubstep, but there we go. That's just so nice. Less nice. Okay, all right, yeah, we gotta give it a key. I can tell it to do that. Might as well be easy. Yeah, okay. Do slightly more noise. Slightly more noise. I mean, Duke can make whatever he wants. He has the power. He has technology. Oh, I can see it. That's kind of doing it. It didn't totally do it, but it's trying. Ooh, it's trying. That's also something I've noticed about it is that if it gets close enough to a raw tone, it has a really hard time staying in bass range. Let's try that. Like I've tried to be like F0, like they tell to do it, but it doesn't. It does not. Boop pop. That's interesting. You know what? Less of the DDM, I guess. Let's try. I think it might be keeping it a little too hard into the original audio. So, in my opinion, the best use of AI in a creative context is when you use it to supplement. And like when you, like, for example, the Spider-Verse movies, both of them, honestly, they made really good use of stylistic AI on the stylistic application of things like speed lines and eyebrows and hair and that kind of thing. Like really highly dense stuff that fits on a thing that is congruent for how the way that fits, but that its generation could be AI. And it made it read better because the thing that was real was handmade. But then, like, the last 10%, right? The last 10% machine. Jeez. What am I finding are this process's limitations? Understanding. Like, not even just it understanding, because it also pretty well challenges your ability to describe things. And, like, it can respond to technical information pretty well, but stuff like feels, especially like how does this, like, describing the difference between a Zomboid track and a Skrillex track, you have a really hard time doing that. I also understand people being sad about it, like the absolute devastation of like the value of like human handmade stuff. But honestly, this does just make the, like, because what's gonna happen is like the really big companies are just not gonna have humans making stuff anymore. They'll have humans training their engines, then they'll make the engines make stuff, and that'll be the end of like AAA human art. But it will make, you know, the bespoke stuff valuable still. I don't know why I decided to just be a, like, what to do with you down here. I don't want to give you a hoop. Maybe I'll give you, ooh, no, that, see, this would make no sense to apply to audio, and that wouldn't make any sense to apply to audio either. All right, we're doing it. Ancestral. How would I tell it to have tension to resolve to evoke human emotions? I would not. I would be piecing it, like, that's the thing that Stable Audio 2 can do. Because, remember, this is the first version of a thing there's already an iteration of. There's already a superior model to this. It's just not available publicly. AI can't replace music festivals. That's absolutely true. And that's just because the entire purpose of music festivals is not music. It's the performers. And it's like the human element of driving it. It's honestly the whole point of a festival is to go be human with humans. So no, AI is never going to do anything with that. It's also why I don't go there. Yeah, humans being humans and also humans being drugs. That was pretty cool. It's doing it! It's freaking doing it! Oh my god! Oh my god, that's like what? That's like 10% of an AU5 drop right there. Oh my god. All right. Like the lower 10%. It wasn't exactly close. AU4 drop. AU.03. Fool's AU5. There you go. We're also not. We're not even really using this particular tool to its like particular maximum benefit, which is its ability to be trained on things. And like, because if like, imagine if I gave it a crap load of like Harmor stuff, like Harmor based sound design, then you had to just have like the Harmor engine. I haven't done that. So far, there's just the pianos guy here doing that. Oh my God, Alberton Live. It does kind of sound like a creaky chair, doesn't it? That was totally just terrible. Like, why was that was 3 ticks? All right, more steps. Actually, that's really what I should have done when I was like, we wanted to do it more. We wanted more steps. That was actually what I wanted, not more noise. I want the noise to do more, but in order to do that, the noise has to have more chances to do it. And that's what steps are for. AI is about as dangerous to the environment as crypto mining is, except for the part where the thing that AI is doing is actually way more valuable than crypto mining. So that means a shitload more of it is going to happen. Oh, you want to look at one of these? All right, yeah. There is actually like a built-in method of doing that. I just haven't figured it out yet. Fucking anywhere. This was my voice, right? Actually, is this still my voice? Nope. But this is. So this was what was going in there, and then that's what came out. And I muted. Yeesh. It's so dense and complex, though. Like, and it's amazing that it doesn't really have this information. So this is something that AI doesn't really have. It doesn't exactly have this information. It has this information, which can be represented in this information, because like it can see this. It can see the like an oscillation's depth and distance, and it can measure that. Will I make a VST plugin? No. I might make a clap plugin though. What is new? That's a good one. That one's actually trying to put music in it. Let's do the opposite. I'm gonna do that and then do that. Clap. It's like the whole reason I don't have a problem with VSTs. It's just that in order to do that, I'd have to pay money to Steinberg to license the software, the license to do that. That's really it. Sounds like a numbers. It does. I mean, it wouldn't it? Like repeated data sets expressed in audio. Why wouldn't it sound like that? Like, that's hilarious. That's really good. All right, what we got? I mean, it's doing a really good job making neuro bases because everything broken is a neuro base. We can just call them. That's a good cop out, right? I actually really don't know what like the plugin classifications that anyone cares about. Like, I'm pretty sure it's all DLLs, right? But even DLLs are like an owned thing. Like, that's a Microsoft standard. Ooh. All right, you know what? We're gonna do the original. We're gonna do less steps. That was someone else's idea earlier, and it worked out well. So we're gonna do really less steps, like tiny. Let's see it. So the whole reason I even like know what clap is because I was looking up how to make a plugin, and I used AI to try and start teaching me. Like, see that? That's the Copilot icon. Yeah, you know what? There you go. Lower steps. That sounds like color bass. Sounds like the blink, blink, blink basses, the ARP basses. How can it do that easily at this lower of a step count, but it can't figure it out with more steps? Like, that doesn't. Oh, do I need to do less noise and more steps? I don't know that I'd sell it. I'm really bad at making money, and it's because I hate charging for things. At this point, though, it depends. I wouldn't really sell the thing. I'd be selling the models. Like, the models are the worthwhile element. Like Guy's piano model up here. I mean, no one's talking. I mean, what exactly coding I'm going to pick? I'm just following the advice of ChatGPT, but it's just in service of eventually I want to make a plugin. Like that's just it's a goal I have too. It's kind of doing it. If my voice were a little bit more conducively aimed, like let's actually try the other seamless, the other high-end seamless. I mean, if you want to give me a hand with it, I'll absolutely take that. Like, I'm full on board with that. Like, I haven't even really figured out what a good body of data is yet, or even how to like make it yet. There's a lot of like, obviously I have all my old projects, so that's there. But like, those were all pieces of me doing some things that weren't like a defined element that now I feel like I could define if I were to do. That's what I want to do. I want to define that. Like,
I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to change by AI.
Oh yeah, you guys, let's get on this AI stuff. Let's make some freaking models.
I'm Seamless, and this voice is going to change by AI.
Dang. I mean, it's funny. I was feeling all bad that I didn't like really gung ho jump into Unreal Engine 5 and like learn how the meta sound system works, because I was all like, oh cool, you can synthesize like live sound effects, but like this stuff is gonna synthesize live everything. It's gonna be good. If I PC had the chops, could I convert from genre to genre? Yeah. Okay. So let me show you the thing. Let me show you the thing I was working on. How do I open up a freaking workflow? Oh my god, the new UI is weird. I've never even like looked at the models for the training. Did it load it? It didn't load it. Why didn't it load it? Did it load it somewhere else? Oh, it did. It loaded it somewhere else. What the fuck? Okay. All right. So here is me trying to design a little piece of clockwork to automatically name things based on their place in what would be a direct wave preset. So let's like go look at a finished one. It's just a naming script. That's all that is. That's just a big ass naming script. Blast. Go. It didn't open it. It doesn't do that. It's bad at dragging and dropping. I have to actually drag and drop it onto something. Yeah, so okay, check this out. Like this file, it's got the sound, it's got the note, and then it has a round robin. And all of that can be defined, but none of this is automatic unless it's built itself. So this, for example, was created by coming up to this guy and going create direct wave instrument and then doing this. Just doing it and labeling it and having it go, and then it automatically makes a thing that's automatically in there, and then that's it. It's done, and I don't have to worry about it. But if that's the way you're doing it, then that's good. But if you're trying to import it, it's supposed to be able to read the audio files. It's supposed to be able to do that, but it did not want to do that for this, which is like, here it is, like the note range, the velocity level, the group, the trigger group, the trigger type, and the trigger overlap. And like 3 round robins per thing. This should work. It doesn't. But if it did work, then that's what this would have done. The value of this, though, is that it's supposed to switch out things like when I have low velocity or high velocity, it switches out like a description for it so that like it actually does automatically generate, when I tell it to generate 720 samples, an entire direct wave instrument's worth of thing. This is what like, and if this worked, if actually I lied, if this fucking worked, like this is the bad part. Like if this does not upload this properly, but if it did, then I would be able to just generate like romplers by the hundreds every day. Like even at this relatively slow pace, like this one I did overnight and like it came out okay. Just the upload didn't work, but it's all just description scripting, just scripting. But yeah, this is what like the main thing I'm focusing on these days. Like I am also doing other things like doing a lot of the Kepler sound design because this is a dope piece of thing. Like there's also actual scream. This is a funny sound. Fucking hilarious. Yeah, so I have been doing stuff, but my absolute main focus is like getting this stuff up off the ground because absolutely right now is the ground floor of it, isn't it? It's the time. Descripting. And this wasn't even the smartest version of it. I call it clockwork because I have to do things like the doing the specific like the booleaning, but like it just goes down the steps, and then I just have to have all of these zeros in a note in a list so that it runs through it, just like a freaking player piano did 250 years ago. Have we really progressed that far? Anyway. It's getting real late, so I'm going to wrap up today's stream. I hope y'all have fun looking at what AI generation is like on Stable Audio Open, which is what this is about. If you have any questions about this, join the club, but please let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that stuff. And yeah, you guys that want to help me like get up on model training and whatnot, feel free to email me. I'm gonna just straight up like do that. I want it. I need to know. It must happen. And absolutely, y'all. I am gonna try to get back on doing lessons and stuff. Like I basically have not done that in so very long, but I do need to. Man needs money. Alrighty, y'all. Have a nice day.